So recently I got interviewed by SMSBump. Like, this is a software that a lot of people use, and it was an honor to be interviewed by them. And I just want to share this interview just because SMSBump were able to get a lot of cool answers and really go in depth into my origin story. We talk about my scaling strategies, we talk about my product testing strategies, we talk about my SMS strategy. So anyone that's sort of at that stage where your store is doing pretty well and you're looking to SMS marketing, definitely watch this interview because I shared that strategy. As well, if you're sort of just looking to get into e-commerce, or you've been following me for a while and you don't know my backstory, this interview reveals it all. So hopefully you guys enjoy this interview. Thank you so much for having me on SMS Bump, and I highly recommend everyone to jump on the SMS platform. Here's the interview.
So Andy, it's a pleasure to meet you. Why don't you just start by introducing yourself and telling us a bit about how you got into e-commerce?
Likewise, Nina. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity. My name is Andy Mai. I am 20 years old. I'm from Australia, Sydney. And how I got into e-commerce was I stumbled upon it roughly 2.5 years ago. I was at a stage where previously I did a lot of buying and selling. I was flipping clothing, Supreme, Palace, Bape on eBay, buying it from Facebook groups, flipping it. That got sort of pretty easy and boring, and I wanted that next challenge. And consistently when going on YouTube, I was watching these videos like how to make $100 a day under 18, 5 ways to make $100 a day in school. And dropshipping just kept coming up again and again and again. So eventually I just googled what dropshipping was, and I really enjoyed the business idea and model, and I just gave it a try. And then it took roughly 6 months to crack. After I cracked the code of dropshipping, I found my first winner and I was able to make money from dropshipping. The rest has been like history.
So what kind of marketing methods do you use, or have you used since the beginning, and how have they developed over time?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I started with Facebook advertising. Actually, I started with Instagram influencers, then I transitioned into Facebook advertising. So in today's day, I do less Instagram influencers because that's a bit more sort of manual work. You have to reach out to all these influencers, all these pages on Instagram, whereas Facebook is just much more easier to start, much more faster. But the downside of Facebook is that there's a lot of money to be like, you need to have a solid budget to really get results from Facebook. And Instagram influencer, it's much more safe, much more easier. So I'd recommend people who get started to start with Instagram influencers, and those with the budget and experience to go with Facebook advertising. So I transitioned from using Instagram influencers to mainly Facebook advertising, and that's sort of what I've still been doing today.
So can you tell us a bit about your store? Do you have one store, more stores? How did you start with making your store? And yeah, maybe tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I started with a store called superheromerchco.com. That was one of my very first Shopify stores. I was a fan of Marvel, I was a fan of DC, and I was selling all these sort of compression tops that had like all these superheroes on it, all these sort of merch from AliExpress drop shipping onto Shopify. And then eventually over time I saw the riskiness of using Marvel products because I don't have the copyright license. So dropshipping their products obviously was not a long-term solution. So eventually I scrapped that store and I moved into like a health and fitness type of store, and that was sort of my first general store. I started with selling a lot of health and fitness goods such as compression pants, backpacks for like cyclists, all these sort of health and fitness related products, but then I wasn't able to really scale and find a winning product. So I ended up turning that store into a general store, and despite being themed around health and fitness, I was putting in like LED masks, I was putting in like kitchen products, I was just throwing everything onto that store, and I turned it into a general store. And then after that store, I think I scaled it to like roughly nearly $300,000. Then I transitioned to another store that was more of a general product store. It was like trendysumo.com. And that was scalable. And then since then I've been working with a lot of clients. I've started my own branded stores. I run and own this store called musicchest.com, where we sell these sort of chests that have different musics from different singers, different movies, It's sort of like print on demand, but for music boxes. So that's sort of one of the branded stores I have. I manage this other company called bombandcompanyco.com, where they sell tactical keys, pocket knives, paracord, bracelets, stuff like that. So that's sort of what I've been up to now.
Sounds very dynamic. Like you have such a busy life going on. How do you manage like sort of this balance, work and having fun?
When it comes to just like managing many things, I make sure that I only transition and add another task once I've automated and really solidified one thing. So I would never add another task or project to the plate unless everything I have is very steady. I don't have a overwhelming list of to-do lists every day and everything's sort of plateaued. That's when I start adding things to my sort of schedule to sort of spike it and get the ball rolling and to continue growing. When it comes to balance, that's something I've been trying to crack, but the current formula I have is I block 2 whole days off on Saturday and Wednesday. So I split my weekends into 2 days rather than having on Saturday and Sunday, and I block those days off completely, whether it's just for me to catch up on work, to get a project completed, or just do whatever I want on those days where like no one can book anything, I don't have any meetings, and blocking to those 2 days has really allowed me to breathe.
Yeah, no, that seems like a great strategy that you developed for yourself, and I'm glad that it's working for you. So could you maybe tell us how you found SMSBump and sort of the process, how you discovered it?
I had a friend that's in dropshipping as well, and he highly recommended SMSBump. He was telling me about his crazy results that I was able to get it, and that's sort of what encouraged me to install the app and start playing around with it. And then over time I really saw that text was really the next sort of platform, the next sort of thing that was going to blow up, and it was going to play a huge role when it comes to running a business.
So can you comment a bit about the results that you've had? How long have you been using the app?
Yeah, so I've been using it on and off over the past year with clients, with some of my old stores, and the results have been like amazing. Like I think abandoned checkout, that's like an extra like 10% in revenue automated. Like abandoned checkout with SMS, very powerful. And on top of that, doing monthly campaigns, launching text blast, that has been able to add another 10% as well on top if you're consistently launching campaigns every single month. That's sort of what I used to do with email, but the results were nowhere as near as the results I've been able to get with SMSBump and text, just because everyone's seeing their text, the open rates are much higher and people are taking action.
Maybe can you comment on a successful campaign that you had, or maybe to the people that are watching this, give some tips. How would you write a text message? How would you send it out?
So for abandoned checkout, I'd have 3 flows. I would have 1 that's within the first few hours of abandoned checkout, 2 after roughly 1 to 2 days, and 3 roughly a week after they abandoned checkout. And then each one, the first one I'll be like, hey, you left this item in your cart, would you like to come back and purchase it? And here's a link. So that's the first one. The second one, hey, we've noticed that this item is still in your cart, we're saving it for you, just because we've felt lucky, or today there's a sale on, or due to this Christmas holiday, or because you've been one of the few lucky chosen ones, we're going to give you an extra $5 discount coupon, or say 20% off discount coupon. So that's the second email. And the third one, that's like several days after, that's where I sort of hit them with that last Hail Mary. Like I just give them sort of the same one, be like, hey, this is, we no longer can hold your item in our cart. It's probably going to get sold out soon, but we wanted to just sort of extend this offer just because we want to really secure you as a loyal sort of customer, and we want to sort of really serve you. So we're going to give you a 30% off coupon, or like a $7 to $8 off coupon. And that's sort of the last email that really tries to get them to purchase, because that's your last chance. So you might as well just give them the best deal possible and lock them in. And even if you break even and you give them say a $10 coupon, or even a $15 coupon, and you're able to just break even, that's okay, because you'll be able to make the money back through your monthly text campaigns that you're going to keep retargeting them with.
So it's sort of gradually increasing, the amount that you're offering.
Correct. Keep increasing the incentive, keep increasing the discount, and sort of just add pressure over time. And eventually, if you send them enough emails, they're going to hit the trigger.
All right, awesome. And how about creating your lists and segments? How do you go about doing that?
So right now I've been very simple with segmentation. The only things I would do, maybe men, female. Sometimes I'll do different niches. So if I have a general store and have a winning product within the electronic niche, I'll maybe create a segment for that. And then if I have a winning product within the health niche, I'll create a segment for that. So when the holiday season comes, I can really send everyone that's within the sort of electronic segment a bunch of gadgets and electronic related products for like Black Friday. And for the health related niche, I'll send them a bunch of health related products. So it really tailors the campaign to these people during different holiday launches. Now, what I want to eventually do is build out a team where every single month, instead of sending one general campaign, sending them to a general collection, everyone on my list have an employee or intern actually create segmented campaigns for each of the audience, segmented audiences, and they'll probably have a much higher conversion rate. Right now I can do that during the holiday seasons, but my monthly campaign launches are just blasting everyone on my list.
So your idea is sort of segmenting your customers based on product interest or
product interest, product add to cart, purchase, etc. So what product they opted in from.
Do you use the growth tools in SMSBump, or how do you gather new subscribers, SMS subscribers? Like, do you use pop-ups or?
I don't use any pop-ups. I stick to just abandoned checkout and purchases because I just sort of feel like those opt-ins are much higher quality rather than the people that are opting in from a pop-up. But with that said, what I would do is those who are getting started with SMSBump, what you should do is email blast your whole email list and get them to opt into your text list, and that's sort of how you funnel users over. And you want to incentivize them, be like, hey, if you opt in, we'll give you a $5 coupon they could use over the next 7 days. Do the exact same thing with your Instagram following and bring users over.
Right, so it's the email converter tool. You convert all of your email subscribers, and with a shareable link, you can just share it all over social media and tie that into a social media campaign. How about giveaways? Are you thinking of doing that during this holiday season, or have you before? What's your experience with giveaways?
Yeah, I highly recommend people do giveaways and competitions on Instagram to, one, grow your Instagram following, two, grow your list. And what they should do is give away a package of a wide variety of items, get people to, one, in order to qualify, they have to follow your Instagram page, two, they have to tag 3 friends, and 4, they have to go ahead and opt in to your email list. And that's sort of what I do, and that's a pretty good tool for growing your list and Instagram following and sort of building awareness. So it hits like 3 birds with 1 stone.
All right, so how would you comment on once you installed the app, what was your experience? Was it difficult to get into automating your sending abandoned cart automations, or sort of the onboarding process? How did you find it?
The onboarding process SMSBump had was very amazing. It was very easy to use. You start with free credits, which is amazing. And on top of that, all these flows, you guys already have pre-built templates, and that made things super easy. And I think that's sort of why a lot of people use it, because you guys just made it so easy to get into SMS marketing. All
right, thank you. Do you have any tips for someone that is just opening their first store and they recently opened their store and they're getting into SMS marketing? What would your first tip be? How would you sort of advise them to start?
My first tip would be, all you have to do, keep it simple and set up abandoned checkout. Don't send out monthly campaigns when you just get started, because 1, you won't know how to really market, and 2, you have to spend some money. Whereas you can just sort of stick to abandoned checkout from people who have intent to purchase your item, and you could hit them again. And then, if you're on a budget, break it down from maybe instead of 3 follow-up emails to maybe only 2 or 1 if you're getting started with. But abandoned checkout is important. I highly recommend everyone that starts to install SMSBump and set up their first abandoned checkout email and just set it there. Forget about it, and it's going to churn you money.
In order not to overwhelm your customers, we usually recommend sending 2 or 3 text messages per month. How many would you send to your customers?
I think I highly agree with that. I've been doing only roughly 1 per month, 1 whole list campaign per month, and that's been doing pretty well. But I definitely would recommend upping it to 2 to 3 as you recommend, and that's sort of why I want to eventually get into. But I want to sort of build a bigger team and do more segmentations to really make those texts not spammy and really related to each person it's going to, because I definitely want to make sure people don't opt out of the SMS list.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, do you have anything else to add? Maybe how would you describe SMSBump in a few words?
Highly profitable retargeting. I think that's sort of like the 3 words I'd use. The return on spend, very high. It's amazing for retargeting, and it's amazing for abandoned checkout. And the return on how much money you would spend to send it out to everyone and the amount of sales you would get, it's a no-brainer.
Right. All right. Thank you, Andy.
And that's the interview. Hopefully you guys were able to find value from that. SMSBump were able to get a lot of crazy answers from me that I have not revealed on my channel. They got my backstory. So hopefully you guys were able to learn a bit more about me and how I got into dropshipping. And hopefully you guys were able to actually find value from all those answers, because I just reveal a lot when it comes to my e-commerce, dropshipping, Facebook ads, SMS marketing strategies. I reveal it all. So I highly recommend everyone to watch this interview again, because it was just filled with the value. And I highly recommend everyone jump on the SMSBump app, because it's just so profitable and the return is just insane. So I highly recommend everyone to jump on it. Question of the day: what is your favorite app? Drop it in the comments below. Let me know what it is. All I ask is for you to simply hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like this video. That's all I ask for. Thank you so much for putting your time and effort into watching these daily videos, and I just want to say thank you. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace.